A merry little Christmas.
Why does it have to be Little Christmas?
Make the Yuletide gay. Why does it have to be gay?
Yeah,
well, I think we know why. But most importantly, this is our last show of 2022. Do you remember that first show that we did? You said, come over. We have a studio. It's COVID friendly.
God, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, we're talking about pretty early into the COVID.
And since then,
I answered the call, and you rang the bell.
And since then, you lost 120 pounds.
I lost over 100 pounds. It's like losing a person, and not a good one.
No.
The evil twin.
It's crazy. 120 pounds. Can you ever imagine?
Well, I think, having been a person that's always been
skinny,
heavy, and then heavier, that's your persona. Like I had, according to various therapists that I've had over the years, I had
wait, 1, 2,
kind of a body dysmorphia, and what that basically means is I never felt or lived or saw myself as a big fat guy. Like I certainly could look in the mirror and see that. I could certainly understand, but a lot of people who are heavier struggle with relationships and employment.
You don't have a problem with that.
No, I've been very blessed, and I've always had an attitude of this is me. But from a health perspective and just other things, it's a process. You just keep working at it and keep going, and you get a little ways down the road, and you realize I don't need to turn back. The future is in front of me. Everything good is in front of me.
I consider myself heavy.
I don't think you're heavy.
Today, you had a great meal today.
We did. We had our annual potluck lunch. So probably the last 5 out of 6 years or 6 out of 7 years, we've done a joint potluck with the city of Miami, the city of Coral Gables Economic Development Department, and everybody signs up on like what they're going to bring, and then we get together. We do a little white elephant.
What did you get?
I got a really cool assortment of Ferrero Rocher, all the different flavors. And then I gave a shot glass roulette game.
And who got that?
I think Letty from the city got that. We had cool stuff, gift cards. We had, like wine, lotions.
Every seat was taken.
Yeah, every seat was taken. Pretty close. I mean, if you're at full complement at that table, you've got 18, 20 people. We're at 12, 13 today.
Yeah, but
because we're at 9, about to be at 10 with our.
Who you hiring?
We're hiring a new receptionist that will start with us on January 3rd.
Who?
Cannot say out loud, but we are making that offer today, so they can start with us right after the new year, and then we'll be at back to full complement.
Wow, I like that full complement.
Yeah. And then we probably have 2 more positions we can hire over the next year to 18 months. That depends on our continued growth, finding the right candidate, and getting a grant related to our Welcome Center. So,
who's that grant come from?
The one we're applying for right now is through the Tourist Development Council through Miami-Dade County, the Michael Springs office.
Oh, very good. Michael Springs, how's he doing?
Michael's a great asset, and been a friend for a long time. I was just thinking, like, I've got involved with the Cultural Affairs Department of the county over 20 years ago because I used to be a grant reader.
What's a grant? What's a grant? Yeah, I know you read me really well, but what is a grant reader?
Different kind of grant. Let's say there's an application for like the Adrian Arch Center.
Right.
I, along with the panel, would review that application and then determine its eligibility, the organization's eligibility for what's called major grant funding. And I just completed that process this summer. We did it for the next, I think, 3 to 5 years. So used to be annual. Now the majors program, I think, is 5 years. I think it allows the organizations then to know kind of from a stability standpoint what dollars are going to be available to them over and above their own fundraising, other grants, private donations, etc.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about what's going on today. Today is National Caroling Day.
Caroling Day. Here we go, Caroling. I love Christmas carols.
Do you?
I do. When I was growing up, Mother Trowbridge.
Where? In Ohio or?
Both in Toledo and in Melbourne. Mother Trowbridge, typically only ever played religious music. So at Christmas time, you have a really strong variety of music. And it was also one of the few times we got to listen to Elvis Presley because he had a Christmas album that Mary Lou liked a lot.
Mom was tough on you, huh?
I'm still tough. She's 85 and,
Ornery.
She'll bust hump. She's tough.
I can't wait to meet her.
Well, she thinks you blocked her from the show.
Oh, maybe. Okay. So, George, thank you for... He has his glasses somewhere.
Yeah, I got... we gave everybody a pair at lunch, and then I've got this necklace here. But I didn't want that to distract anybody. Plus, also, it, blinks, and I don't want any of our viewers who might not do well with...
Sangria? Today's a sangria day?
Today is National Sangria Day.
Do you drink sangria?
I do, but I don't particularly like the red sangria. I like white sangria or peach sangria. And you know where you can get that?
No.
The best white sangria in town, I think, is at Booyah. Coral Gables.
Really? Booyah!
Booyah!
Speak about, this is not on our schedule. How can you not put who did this?
I do that. I write that for you.
What about the soccer? You didn't put that on there.
Oh. Well, I feel like we should wait to talk about that because today's a national day of celebration in Argentina. So
Did you see pictures of it?
Of today?
Oh
no,
God.
But I saw it on pictures and stuff from Sunday when they're on. I think I've been to Buenos Aires twice. I think that street is 5th of July is what it's called because that's Independence Day.
Right.
And then the main attraction is the Gran Obelisco, the big obelisk.
Wow, it's beautiful. It's,
Yeah, so it's really close to the Recoleta neighborhood. So the first time I was there, we stayed in Recoleta. And I remember that Denise and I would exercise. And so we walked down to July 5th. She's well. I talked to her yesterday.
I sent you a picture of me and her. Maybe it didn't go to you.
You sent it to a different
Mark. Okay,
It is awfully early when you send it.
Let's talk about...
I stayed up way too late last night because I watched the football game.
Right.
Because I thought, maybe the Rams are going to do this. And, I really do not like the Packers because I do not like...
Big game next week.
Yeah, the Packers are coming to town.
I know.
They're going to thaw out. Last night's game, you know what the temperature was?
What?
16. 1-6.
There's a difference there. That wind is... Here, it won't be like
Lambeau Field, cold.
Have you ever been there?
I have been to Lambeau Field.
Really?
Yeah. I interviewed for a job many years ago.
What game were you there for? What?
Denise. I love that little hint. I don't remember the game, but the cool thing about Lambeau Field and the Green Bay Packers is it's basically owned by the people of Green Bay. So when I went to Green Bay, I was interviewing for a job at the University of Wisconsin at Green Bay. It was April. It was still cold.
Oh, luckily,
really cold. So I didn't go to a football game. We went to the stadium because you can take a tour. And then years later, when Denise and I were doing our cross country tour, we signed up and you could do an official tour of Lambeau Field. The coolest thing is that they have this unbelievably large gift shop. So when you come into Lambeau Field, there's this great statue right by the gift shop, which is a recreation of the Lambeau Leap. And so you can go and leap onto it, recreate it, and take pictures and things like that.
Well, some people don't know, but I know you know. Years ago, not all the home games were at Lambeau.
I didn't know that. Where else were they played?
Very good point. Who owns the team?
The people.
Of?
Green Bay.
Of Wisconsin.
Yes.
So they played 2 or 3 games a year at, yes, good point, Milwaukee Stadium.
Oh. Well, Lambeau Field's, legendary.
It is.
So when we went to the gift shop, at the time I was much heavier and I was probably wearing between a 3X, maybe a 4X, depending. And so I said to the lady, I'm looking for the big and tall. And she's like, for yourself? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, you're not big and tall.
Because you're from that Wisconsin, you're a baby there.
Right. You're like hirsute. And I said, well, I probably like a 3X. She goes, that's just on the regular rack. She goes, the big and tall is over there. This massive section. Guess what size it went up to?
What?
8X.
Oh, because people in Wisconsin are big.
8X.
You want to recruit a lineman? That's where you go. You go to Wisconsin.
So I didn't even look in there, but they had those big, overalls that are yellow and green that people wear. Hilarious. But man, I felt bad for like Baker Mayfield and the Rams last night because it was so cold. So now, Aaron Rodgers. So I find him to be a little bit of a jerk. So he's getting interviewed at the end of the game. And, the sideline reporter's like, how are you feeling? We've got to take care of business. Everything is in front of us. She said, well, you're playing 3 teams that all have winning records. And you got to win them all to even and get some help to get into the playoffs, right? He goes, only 2 have winning records. He goes, one of those teams is at 500. Like, first they had to correct her. Detroit is the team that's at 500, except they've won 6 out of 7.
And they're playing great.
They're the hottest team.
I love that they're winning.
They did in the Jets. Because remember, Detroit, we're all playing the same division. We had the same issue. How did we lose to Detroit, right?
Don't you love
but
this?
But Green Bay's coming to town next Sunday.
I'm going to the game.
Christmas Day.
About 30 to 40 degrees.
Yeah, Christmas Day here is going to be. Alex, can we get a updated weather report for Christmas Day? I had heard rumors that it could be in the very high 20s. Is that correct? Is that possible?
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be at the game.
Who does that favor? I think it favors them.
Yes.
They play in the frozen tundra. Oh, they're dead. It's going to be 59.
Ah, that's what they say now. That's South Miami, not the stadium.
Well, that's 10 minutes away. Poor Alex. So, I'll be watching from Mother Tro's house.
Well,
the good news is the following.
What?
There is no church on Christmas Day. We used to have to go to Christmas Eve service.
What do you mean no church? Where I go, there's church.
There's no church. They decided instead to have a Christmas brunch, which my mother would never do because,
But you're paying for it. So
I'm not paying for every meal.
Yes, you are.
We'll already be eating at like 1 o'clock because my sister Tubby likes to eat early.
Tubby, you call her?
Yeah.
That's what you always called her that.
Yeah, since she was little.
What'd
T-U-B-B-E-E, Tubby.
What did she call you?
I think she just refers to me as the patriarch.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know what she calls me. Sam?
What's Sam stand for?
I don't know.
All right,
like
so
a very generic, non-descriptive.
You know what I love about the World Cup?
Oh, we're back to Argentina.
It's not about the game.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
It's not the game. It's that the whole world stops. No, it didn't. We don't hear about the bombing. We don't hear about the killing. Everybody's concentrated. The World Cup. It's like everybody's getting along.
Well, sport is supposed to be a convening, unifying, gift to the world. It's what we talk about in the Olympics and in World Cup. Now, I've watched a number of World Cups because my buddy Marco lives and dies by the World Cup, both men's and women's. And, we didn't make the men's World Cup.
A couple times
in a row. So, now
it's the top 16. What is it?
32. Because there's 8 groups.
Right, 4s.
By 4, and the top 2 advance, and then you go into the knockout round. I mean, I've learned more about football than I ever did. And I played soccer.
Don't tell me you played soccer
when
for
I
like
was
YMCA.
in middle school. I played at McCord Junior High.
Ooh, where's that?
And it's in Sylvania, Sylvania, Ohio. And I was a fullback.
You look like a fullback.
So our team was really good. Our up front guys were always on the other side of the field. So I would just chat it up with the goalie. I didn't do a whole lot. And the coach would be like, Trowbridge, look alive!
Yeah. So, but don't you?
But I couldn't run. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I was so fat that when I had to buy a cup, I had to buy an adult large.
We heard about that. Right. So I
think it bears repeating.
So after when Argentina and France got into the finals, half the world says I want Argentina. The other half wants France. I just love the whole battle.
Well, yeah, I think, beyond national pride, I think it comes down to kind of continental pride, right? So you've got the Euros versus the Latin Americans versus,
Why Latin Americans? Why not South Americans?
Maybe it is South America.
There is an issue about what's Hispanic or what's Latin. That's another issue.
I mean, it's just easier to refer to them as people of Argentina. People of Argentina. Did you ever see
Madonna singing that song?
Madonna singing?
Yeah. Come on, you cry. Can't help but cry in that movie. Okay, all right. Let's talk about Greater Miami Chamber.
Let's talk about Diego Maradona.
Who?
He was the last guy to bring Argentina a World Cup, right?
Right.
Is he still alive?
I don't know.
I think he passed. Didn't he have some health issues?
He had health.
Very recently. When did he pass away, Alex? I think he died in 2020.
Alex, find that out, please.
Why are we talking about the Greater Miami Chamber?
Because I made a mistake. It's the Greater Coral Gables Chamber.
Okay.
The Greater Miami Chamber.
I'm like, what do you want to talk about then?
There's nothing to talk about. Let's talk about the chamber. Your breakfast last Thursday.
Yeah.
Guns and Roses.
Close.
Guns and guitars.
Guitars over guns.
Close. Not bad.
I mean, one of the things that we like to do in December is honor our traditions. So that is, the sponsorship that we get from Home Financing Center and Claudine Claus that goes back to her parents,
20
Terry
years.
and Bunny.
30
years. Maybe more than 20. Because I've been at the chamber 17. So I've been through 17 different, December breakfasts. And there are three elements that I think, Claudine really loves. The reference and nod to her family.
Right.
And their generosity. Because her father and she, too, incredibly generous. Having Santa Claus there. Terry used to play Santa himself.
Yeah, but this Santa
is a pretty good guy.
No. And I've been around.
Yeah, we've had him a couple of years now. Do you want to know his real name?
No.
Santa.
Okay. You feel that he loves Christmas. That wasn't a job to him. He was funny. He cracked on you a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, 2020, I was right. I knew it was in the last
2 years ago.
Year or two.
Good job, Alex.
Listen, I grew up, I was a little indifferent towards Christmas. And I think here's the reason why. My father always used to use the phrase, bah humbug, kind of like Ebenezer Scrooge, right? And I don't know if that was because, his father was never into Christmas. His father was Jewish.
Oh, so
My
you're
father
part Jewish.
wasn't raised Jewish. What?
So you're a little Jewish.
A quarter. Yeah, 25%. Wow. European Jew. Come on, why do you think I know so much? Because I studied that religion after I went to college because I wanted to at least understand more about, my family's roots.
What part of Europe? Ukrainian? Russian?
German Jews.
Oh, you might be related.
I hope so. Although I don't want anything that disqualifies our ability to be together long term. And so my father would sit there, and this is the way Christmas would work. When you're a kid, you're awake at like 4:30, 5 a.m., 5:30. So we were not allowed to go downstairs because,
Santa was there.
Santa was there. So we'd sit at the top of the steps. Cold, always cold. You'd have to have your, robe on and slippers on and your pajama, bottoms and your shirt. And then my parents would get up at a little more decent hour, let's say like 7:30.
Right.
They'd go downstairs. So we would be listening because they would make coffee in the microwave. You hear that boop, boop. So now you knew they had their coffee. And then they would take their time and then sit, make sure the camera was ready. Maybe we had a camcorder then. I can't remember. Because now you're talking about 1980. And then they're like, all right. And then you run down the stairs and you tear through all of your gifts in like 5 minutes. And then my sister would be very angry.
That you got better gifts.
No, well, maybe she thought that, but that she didn't get that one
Whatever
gift she really wanted. And she'd be horrible the rest of the morning.
So
ungrateful. And now when her kids do that, I'm like,
all right, so I think I'm 13 or 12. I don't remember. So Michael gives me a gift. It was half this table. Big box, giant box.
nothing in it.
So I dive into the box. Baseball.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So even then,
I
Michael was
had-
torturing you.
Yeah.
I think we've all.
You know what
It was a baseball.
I think all of us have done that to some degree. But you know what? My parents always had that extra gift for my sister. And she was just so stupid and petty and childish that she didn't know how to play the game.
Excuse me. You email it to him. Thank you.
So, we'd be left with this like hanging negativity in the air. And then what do you do? Because now it's only 8:15.
What? So yeah, that's what
So we'd
puzzling.
watch like the parade.
Okay, so in Ohio, you're in Ohio. Was it
No, that was Ohio.
Okay, so family. So what do you do from 8, whatever time, or 7 o'clock? What do you do the rest of the day? I remember as a kid, whoever had bikes would meet in the middle of the street and start riding bikes everywhere.
Well, you couldn't do that in Ohio.
What's Jeff Garcia dead?
I don't know. He must have said something that killed him. Slade. It's Slade. Tell us, Jeffy. I would say, in all fairness,
He just came
my
back from
parents
Oregon.
oh yeah. My parents were very, very generous, and there was a period of time where our family did very well. When my dad, owned the restaurants.
He
and
owned a
everything.
couple of them, right?
6. And what was I think the result of that was just do it like you always did it. You don't need to go overboard because we have a little more money. They just weren't like that. We didn't take any trips. My mother was teaching, my father was working. Christmas was always then a time to. I was doing homework, like working ahead because I had honors classes and stuff.
God, you make me sick.
I remember one Christmas I had my wisdom teeth out. So I was like a hot, swollen mess. I don't remember ever going anywhere really at Christmas time. We weren't big vacations. We didn't ski. We didn't do any of that. Sometimes family might visit. I can't really remember.
You don't want to remember? Is that what you're trying to
I
tell
don't
me?
know. I'm going to ask my mother, but her memory is not
Where
what it
is
used
she?
to be.
Where city is she in again?
Melbourne.
I just want to make sure so when I go visit her,
She'd love to have you over. You'll have to
buy her dinner
buy her dinner,
and drive her there.
and you'll have to put up
Does she
with some of the shenanigans.
Does she live with your sister?
She doesn't. She lives 6-7 miles apart from her. So this is how it will go. I will leave here and head to Melbourne on Saturday.
Saturday, Christmas morning.
Christmas Eve morning.
Wait. That's right. Right. The game's on Sunday. I base everything around the game.
Then I'll go to my favorite store,
Christmas Eve.
Eve Day.
Is he going to be open?
Yeah, they're open until I think 3, called Tuesday Morning. I used to have one in the Gables. I love his store. So any last minute gifts or whatever. Then I will check into the hotel. I will pick my mother up for service.
Right.
Christmas Eve service. I think that's at 5:30 or something. That'll be an hour.
Right.
Then we'll go have Chinese food, which is my nod to my Judaism. I will. I don't know. My sister sometimes comes. I'm assuming she'll be there.
Who's paying?
You're looking at him.
Okay, then she'll be there.
Yeah.
TUBBEE.
TUBBEE.
Okay. All right.
Tubby.
Tubby.
My sister, when we were growing up, giant pain in the rear end.
Is she older than you?
She's younger. But, as she's gotten older and I've gotten older and she's more medicated and I'm more tolerant, we do better together. she's a mom with a couple boys, and they're a handful. So then I will go to the hotel by 8:30.
Do they know who you are?
Who?
The hotel. You would go there so
I don't
much.
think so. I do stay there quite a bit, but no. I will go to sleep early, and when I wake up, the kids will already have opened their gifts. I don't like to be there for that madness because
It's a madness.
it's madness, and it's not my speed. And then when I get there, let's say around, I don't know,
You're going to walk that morning.
10,
You're going to walk that morning, of course.
it'll be too cold to swim.
They got a pool there?
They do at the hotel.
Oh.
It'll be too cold to swim, but I'll either walk or I'll go on the treadmill.
Okay.
I got the whole thing. And then I'll get there, and then we'll do the last little bit of the gift exchange, and then
Then what?
usually it depends on how the nephews have done. If they don't feel like Christmas was good to them, then you can feel the anger. Like the one year, the one was already in his room for the day
Upset.
because he'd been sent there because he was ungrateful.
How old is he?
Benny at the time was probably 16, 15. My sister announced that he was ungrateful and that he was banished. And that was it. And so, yeah.
Take her some Trowbridge tots.
I know. I don't know if she'd appreciate that or not.
Okay.
So that'll be the deal. Then we'll eat, and then I'll go back to the hotel.
Pack and come home.
No, I'll take a nap.
Oh, you're
No,
staying up.
I'll stay an extra day.
Wait. You're not going to open the
Then
chamber?
we'll go back.
Chamber's not open 26?
It's not open on Monday, no. Closed Friday and Monday. Wow. Yeah, great deal.
God.
Benevolent. Remember what Morgan told you today.
Yes.
A benevolent leader. Yeah, so, our folks work a lot of hours, so an extra day, and then we'll be back open on Tuesday. And then I'll leave probably after lunch on Monday. I'll take the family to lunch, or we'll go to lunch.
Oh, well, we know you're taking them.
And then I will be home by 5. I'll pack, and then I leave for Birmingham. My flight's at
For what?
9.
For what?
To go see Sarah and Mario.
What, they got a house up there?
They do.
In Alabama. Proud day to be the...
In Birmingham, beautiful little city. We'll go do little day trips. We'll go have great food.
So you're going to be gone for 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, 10 days.
Wow.
Well, it's different now with Winston having passed.
And Alabama, are they playing any bowl game?
Oh, yeah, I think they're on New Year's Eve.
Well, you're not going out New Year's Eve because you got to watch the game.
No, New Year's Eve. I think they're in the Sugar Bowl. Alex, is the Sugar Bowl at noon on the 31st? I think it's super early.
Let's find out when the Sugar Bowl is and who's in it.
I think it's Alabama versus K-State.
Well, let's K-State. Let's get back to chamber engagement. How was that?
Come on, bro. Look at that. 31st at noon, Alabama and K-State. You can laugh all you want. I nailed it. Because, Sarah, she keeps me well informed. So I'll fly home to go to the Orange Bowl. They'll stay.
Great.
And then drive home, I think, on the 1st, maybe. I don't know.
You got good seats? Are you're not an Orange Committee guy?
I'm not an Orange Bowl committee member, no, but Eric always invites me, and there's always beautiful seats.
He doesn't invite me.
You should probably check your spam.
No. You know how he invites me? Every time I see him, he points at me. I didn't see. You didn't buy tickets this year? He says it comes in front of everybody.
No, he's such a good guy. I love Eric.
By the way,
I worked for him for a number of years.
he's the best of the best.
So he is the best at what he does. I think every other bowl game looks to him and their leadership and, that bowl game as the gold standard.
well, that weekend will be orange.
He said at a meeting I was at where he briefed the board, the orangest Orange Bowl in history.
Now, how many?
Because remember, there have been other orangey Orange Bowls. Florida played Virginia a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That was decent orange. And then Florida played Syracuse many years ago. Very
Yeah,
orange.
but did they say what the attendance is?
Oh, it'll be sold out. Because I think University of Tennessee will travel well. We've been promoting, obviously, our great hotels. And even if you don't get a ticket to the game, being in Miami
Gotta watch it.
is amazing.
Yeah. So okay, we got.
And I think Clemson, They're used to going to the promised land, but I still think they'll travel well.
Chamber 101. How was it? That was last
Very
Friday.
well. We had 2 members join at the Chamber 101, which is always a great
That's
sign.
a home run.
You know, when you come and you are so impressed, I think, with the orientation and the aspects of our chamber that you join, I think is really awesome. And, it's led by our volunteers. So you have Zach and Nguyen, and they talk really about their experiences as
Why
members.
don't I give her a talk? I'm a perfect person to talk about that.
I mean, the door is wide open for you to waddle right through, Santa. Santa, baby, I wish I knew the word.
Okay, Bay 13. What's happening at
Bay 13 is our first official event of 2023.
When is that?
January 4th, we will have a Wind Down Wednesday. Beautiful venue, beautiful location.
And great, beautiful owners.
Wonderful people. Nick, Teresa, the whole team there.
Teresa and Nick.
Teresa and Nick. I think they're a very attractive couple. He's from Melbourne, Florida, not Melbourne like I'm from.
Where is she from?
Melbourne.
Where is that?
Australia.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
You got to say it like Melbourne.
Okay, and then you get the book club coming up.
Book club. We're doing a program called Master Mentors with Scott Jeffrey Miller. And so very excited about that. I just met with Sarah Hernandez, our incoming chair, and we started brainstorming some ideas not only for book club in 2023, but also for her annual conference, which will be in August.
And we also have, speaking about book clubs, January 17th, one of the strongest authors from Miami, David
Lawrence, Breakfast with David and the Children's Trust.
Right.
20-year anniversary celebration. I'll be emceeing the breakfast. I think you'll hear both from David and from James Hodge, who's our CEO. Jimmy's a great guy. And
Well, everybody, Dave Lawrence, what he's done in Dade County after his published days.
I mean, if your life is apropos broken into chapters, which works well for David, he's such an avid reader, then David is at the best chapter, I think, of his life. Not that he didn't have a distinguished career as a journalist and as a publisher, but really it comes down to what he's done, his legacy.
You're right. His legacy is how he made
He went to the University of Florida like I did. He was the editor, I believe, or associate editor of the
Gator.
Independent Florida Alligator.
Right.
And he was there when the paper had to go what's called underground because they ran an advertisement. And you know what that advertisement suggested?
What?
Where one could get a pregnancy termination, an abortion, which was illegal at the time when he was a student. And so they left campus and went fully independent because they didn't want to be told what they could and couldn't
But they
do.
came back now. It's
No, all these years later.
still in.
If David was there 50 years ago, they've been independent. So in the masthead of the student newspaper of the University of Florida, it says, the Independent Florida Alligator.
Wow.
A real point of pride. I don't know
This is.
if there are any other school newspapers that are independent.
But
Like when I
how-
worked at UM,
But how is it a school newspaper? Who funds it?
advertising.
No, so it's not really a school newspaper.
Well, there is no competitor.
Okay, so it's a school newspaper. It's a Gator newspaper.
I remember. Yeah, I wish I had it. I was very involved on campus when I was a student, and they did this cool program called a dive-in movie. And so you got an inner tube, you wore your bathing suit, you put it in the big,
Right.
pool at Broward Residence Hall, and they showed Creature from the Black Lagoon. It was a total gimmick, 3D.
Right.
So everybody's in their inner tubes. And the reporter took a picture of me and one of my friends.
Right.
And I remember when I left the dorm that morning, I pulled the student newspaper out, and there I was, the front cover.
Do you still have it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's in the archives, but it was like a moment. And everybody was crazy. I mean, there was no social media
Back then.
back then, but it was like, you're on the front cover. And I was like, wow, I've really made it. I think I was a senior or maybe a junior. It was pretty cool.
Okay, January 12th. It's, I believe, one of the best events Coral Gables.
I agree with you. Our New Year's networker, and just a quick story. We used to do an annual holiday party. We'd work with a half a dozen charities. We would have people, bring a gift for admission, and a number of restaurants would participate. And over time, what we realized was the calendar in December, well, we've just lived through it. It's super crowded. It's super competitive. People would come to our party for 10 minutes and be like, oh, I have to go to my office party, or I have to go to another event. So my staff came up with a great idea to change it to January, where there's really no competition. People are just getting back to business. And so we came up with the idea of a New Year's networker, and it's on the rooftop of the Lennar Foundation Medical Center, right there on the edge of UM's campus at 5555 Ponce, sponsored by Sylvester Cancer Center, who's celebrating their milestone 60th anniversary this year. And we'll have a number of restaurants and sponsors. I think we are looking
Music?
for...
You have music?
We have a live band, which we've never done before. We've always done a DJ.
What kind of music?
I think it's going to be covers and, big band, let's call it.
I like that. I'm
There's
there, baby.
Be a 360 where you step on and do
And
photography
when you get
and
a picture,
video.
it's the Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely. And different restaurants. So we're finishing our recruitment of the restaurants. We're looking for probably another 2 to 4 sponsors.
Is it going to be more around, or is it just going to be that one area?
It will have to be because of the band. Yeah.
It
will be.
Because it's funny because once you're there, you get located in a spot. You don't even get to the other side because there's just so many people. So many people are happy.
So usually we have 300 or so attend. We just started promoting the event last week. We already have 60 RSVPs
It's gonna be
in a week. So my staff's like, that seems like it's moving quickly. I'm like, because people are going to be gone, and when they come back the first week and it's the following week, they want to make sure they don't get shut out, because we've had to close the registration before, because when you hit 400, that's really a capacity.
And parking's pretty good. Valet's great.
There's valet, there's a garage.
You can park across the street.
Park wherever you'd
You
like.
get a ticket because you don't realize you got to pay under the Metro Rail.
Like at the baseball games.
Yeah.
And then a month after that is Burgerlicious.
Not a month. A little less.
Just a tad less. It's technically a month in terms of 4
But
weeks.
before that, you got the Tallahassee fly-in.
We'll be in Tallahassee earlier that week, and I think we've got about a dozen people planning to be on that trip with us. So we'll meet with partner organizations and legislators.
Commercial? Do you guys book everything for them?
So we used to always book a hotel block, and what I've learned over the years is people have their loyalty points at hotels.
Right.
And in Tallahassee, there's 3 or 4 hotels within walking
Which
distance.
one do you stay at?
I always stay at the Aloft because I have Marriott. But people stay at the Doubletree, which is 3 blocks
what's the
away.
one downtown? Not downtown. Next to the Capitol?
That's the Doubletree or the Governor's Inn?
Governor's Inn.
Yeah.
I stayed there once.
Yeah. So you have that, and then across the street from that, you have the Hotel Duval, which is where the Shula's is. There's a Sheraton.
Is Andrews?
Andrews is still there on the corner of College.
He's a Miami guy.
I didn't know that. So we fly up on Sunday.
We're talking about 50 years ago.
I understand. But we fly up on Sunday. Some people come in early Monday. Start our meetings. We'll meet with the Florida Chamber, Visit Florida, Enterprise Florida, Florida Retail Federation, Florida Lodging, Florida Bankers. We'll do lunch at Andrews. Then we'll start meeting with about 11 different elected officials between the Senate and the House. And a lot of new faces.
People wonder why. Why do you meet them there? Why don't you just meet them in Miami? What's the advantage?
You do both, but what I hear from senators and representatives is that when you come to Tallahassee, they know 2 things. You've made a heck of an effort to come there. It's not easy to get to. It's not cheap. And 2, you've come to them. You brought, the mountain to Muhammad, if you will. And you're like, these are our issues, Mr. Representative or Madam Senator. These are our substantive issues related to what we're doing.
Here's how I look at it. They're in session. They're working. When they're in Miami, yes, they're working, but they're not in session. You're talking to them why it's working.
Well, and they're part-time at what they do. So a lot of them, they work. We used to love to see Vance here, but Vance had a very big job before he left the House.
What do you do?
Runs the Children's Movement of Florida.
What is that?
It is a major initiative that David Lawrence helped found statewide to make universal pre-K.
Okay.
Helping kids by the time they're 3, setting them on a path for success in terms of reading, in terms of verbal communication. you want a child to have a robust vocabulary by the time they're 3 or 4.
Well, now that Vance is retired, he is now taking his children to school, picking them up.
Yeah,
going
making
to sports.
popcorn on Friday night.
Is that what he does?
He makes it the old-fashioned way. It's not the Jiffy Pop or the microwave. Puts it in the pan with the oil, and you got to.
What do you think about that, Alex? You there? Okay.
He makes it in the microwave. It's fine. That's what I do.
The Real Estate Committee Market Update Breakfast Event, January 19th.
So instead of having a traditional Good Morning Coral Gables, we will have a real estate market update, a partnership that we have with Crew Miami and Sarah Hernandez, our incoming chair. I met with her this morning to go over where we are with our speakers.
Are we going to have the tip? Who's going to be speaking?
I think there are 5 speakers. So you'll hear a little bit about commercial market update, banking, what's happening in the retail space, and what's going on with the insurance. It's an update on what has just happened in Tallahassee. We should be able to kind of distill that down at this point.
Okay. Holiday plans, you're all set.
I told you. I'll be home with Mother Tro for a couple days. Those will be
exciting times.
Expensive times.
That's right. It's okay.
What do you think I should get Mother Tro?
Just give her cash.
That's what I think she prefers.
Yeah.
Last year, I got her a bunch of different gift cards for different restaurants. Do you know how many of them she used?
None.
None. They're still in her purse.
Yeah, and then the problem is the gift cards aren't good. So how much cash would you give Mom?
So she usually gives me $100. So do I just give her back the 100? Do I just endorse the check back to her?
Then you tear the check.
I bought her already a Christmas CD of Seraphic Fire.
Okay.
Which is our, local Grammy-nominated choral group extraordinaire, of which I co-chair the board of. Just had their holiday concert and put you in the mood. I took our new Consul General of Ireland. We had dinner beforehand, and then we had an awesome time at the concert. And, it's just a special time.
Okay. The breakfast. I forgot his name. The attorney.
Bob Bernstein.
No, that was the guest speaker.
The speaker.
Whoever was talking about new members.
Zach.
He's funny.
He is, but I tell him all the time, I go, listen.
But his sense of humor is not for the regular person.
Let's not show up the chairman, He's here to get the accolades and the attention. And
who's the chairman again?
Thad Adams. Oh. And you're trying to steal that from him.
No, he didn't. He brought up, he says, I don't know if this is true, but he says there were 17 new members in 17 days.
In 18 days. 18 business days.
That is unbelievable.
That's not atypical. If you look at a month, there's about 22 to 23 business days in a month, and we'll have 18 to 20.
And he said Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and what else did he say?
Festivus?
Yes.
But a lot of people don't get the Seinfeld reference.
Come on, it's the best.
What is the most important part of Festivus?
Wrap into the poll? No.
That's what you do, but it's the airing of the grievances.
Oh.
So I feel like even though we called it Christmas growing up at the Trowbridge household, it really was Festivus.
Okay, so New Year's resolution.
Alex, are there any more notes from people?
Who watches at 4 o'clock?
Okay. New Year's resolution. So let's see. I haven't necessarily...
Alex, put the messages up, whoever texted.
I haven't necessarily put my thinking cap on. I'm going to continue to work on my health and wellness. It's a journey. I've been working on a potential book.
A writing one?
Yeah. So I've done the outline of the chapters of the book.
Are you going to try to get it published, or are you just going to self-publish it and put it out there?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm ready to say what the topic is about.
Yeah, but, David Lawrence...
It's a nonfiction.
David Lawrence sells a lot of books. His trunk's full of books, I'm sure. Yeah. How much are these books?
$30. I don't know, 25.
Wow.
I've got quite a few of them.
Every event.
I got quite a few.
So you don't know the topic, but you got a book.
No. I know the topic. I said I don't know if I'm ready to share
Come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, here's again, 2023. So, might I travel a little bit more? Again, Winston passed away this fall.
Winston is his best friend, his dog.
My dog and my best buddy. And, it's really the first time that, I'm not like, all right, so I'm going to leave on Saturday. I'm going to go and drop him off. where he gets boarded, and then he'll come back, and then this and that, and I'm going to be gone 10 days, and
Okay, so
I don't have to think about any of that, and it makes me kind of sad. You know what is happening is that if it seems possible, I work later because I'm not racing home to feed him. And
right. All right, New Year's resolution. Stay focused on your health.
Yeah, I think we should all be doing that. I want to take a little more, time off. I've rebuilt my entire staff in the last, 3 months.
By the way, the staff in the office and then at events, and that you can feel the difference. So congratulations.
Well, I think anytime you introduce a new person into the mix, you hope that there's an upside to that, not only from a work ethic and creativity standpoint, but having a positive impact on the culture. We had gotten to a point where our culture was a bit
rough,
corrupted. It wasn't feeling good. And it's amazing how things can evolve when there's a simple change.
Happy. Yeah. So give me another resolution. You got your staff, you got your health.
I want to buy a 3-wheel bicycle.
And sit real low?
Just ride around on my bike, fresh air.
3-wheeler?
I feel like that's a little better for me and my balance.
2 in the back, 1 in the front with a basket behind you.
I don't need a basket, but that'd be cute. With like daisies on it.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be fun. I don't know. I'm not a golf cart person, really. I don't think I'm a scooter. But it might be fun to have a 3-wheeler.
Yeah. Okay.
There was a time when trying to buy a bike was like near darn impossible.
Yeah. Right now it's pretty impossible. You got to wait till after the holidays.
Yeah, no, I'm going to wait. I don't know. Go to more farmers markets. I like those. Craft shows. I like antiques. Right now
Is that a resolution?
I don't know. Right now I've got, I'm looking at trips I have planned. So I don't really have anything planned in January or February. I've got 2 trips planned in March.
Wow. So travel more.
Travel a little bit more.
Get healthy. Spend more time with mom.
I'm doing okay there.
Okay. Well, Mark, it is 4:13.
Is anybody watching, Alex?
Nobody's watching. Don't worry.
Did they give up on us?
Tomorrow.
I'd like to know what show is our most watched ever.
Yours.
Is there a way to find out? No, but I mean just watched ever. Of all of our shows. I know you always say our show is one of the best watched ones.
Yeah, but
you've got new people like doing shows all the time.
You're the best. All right, so thank you for asking about my resolution.
Could I invite the other hosts in?
Yes.
From all the other shows and just pick apart?
Yes.
I could be like, listen, that color doesn't look great on you.
Yeah, yours. Look how great you look. Okay.
Tell me about your resolution.
No, thank you for asking.
Thank you for sharing.
Just get healthy and get happy.
So what would you do then? How many times would you go to Walls?
Yeah, that's my problem is I was down about 10 pounds and I gained it back. I just got to stop eating at Walls.
I liked it. I've been there one time in my entire life and I thought it was pretty lovely. But I'm not there every day.
But you don't drive by it every day. I drive by it every day.
I just drove by the new Marco's Drugs. It looks great.
Great people.
The ladies are open and raring to go.
Buy local, shop local.
Can I get
anything?
Will they write me a prescription?
No.
Oh.
What do you need?
I have no idea.
You're healthy.
Right, but I'm always in need of something. Maybe I need to sleep a little better. Last night I went to bed at 9:45.
No way.
But I wasn't asleep. I was laying in bed watching the end of the football game. And then the football game ends. I watch a little bit of the news. Now it's like midnight, maybe 11:45, and I flip around the channels, and Boogie Nights is on. It's just starting.
You watch the whole thing?
I ended up watching the whole movie, and I didn't go to bed till 2:45.
Well,
that movie is hilarious.
I have a sleep apnea machine.
Yeah, me too.
Do you know what it shows? That this last 7 days I slept an average of 3.5 hours a day.
That's not enough.
Really? Thanks for telling me.
Oh.
All right, we got to
Listen, I think we can all sleep more, but I ended up watching the whole movie to like 2:45, and I was like, all I will say about that movie is, well, 2 things. Mark Wahlberg in his prime, gorgeous.
Yeah.
And Burt Reynolds should have won the Oscar for that role.
Wait, do you ever watch that?
As a best supporting actor? He got. I don't know who won that year, but he got bamboozled.
Do you watch the HBO thing, White Lotus?
White Lotus.
Lotus.
White Locust. No, but I guess I'm gonna. I think while I'm on,
it's okay.
While I'm in Melbourne, like I'm gonna take my laptop and I'll watch a couple episodes of the first season and just see what's up.
It's kinda boring.
Everybody's all excited about.
My problem, it's so slow.
Oh, really?
And as soon as I want to turn it off, the last minute
I'm
and a half.
doc-
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I'm a documentary guy. So I just watched a couple episodes of the Meghan and Harry documentary, and then I watched this really freaky documentary about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and how she was found guilty. And like it just tugs at your heart that these types of things continue to happen in our country where we're fully aware of what's right, and you should be.
Right.
But I like documentaries.
Me too.
If I could watch those every day,
I watch
would probably.
Seinfeld every night, 11:30. That's my documentary.
Seinfeld?
Yeah, 11:30 every night.
What's that on TBS?
One of those wacko stations. All right, let's do the wrap up. It's time to call it a day.
Well, I want to make sure y'all saw my ugly sweater. It's a Christmas tree. It's got fuzzy balls on it, which are like ornaments. It didn't arrive in time for me to wear for our ugly sweater day. So
And I came in fourth place.
You came in third. Or Marty, I think, came in fourth.
Yeah, I came. Oh, Michael's here. That means it's time up.
And what was I going to say? Oh, so, I think we're all in the spirit. Do a couple favors for me. One, continue to take good care of yourself, but really take care of others. Check in on people. This time of year is very stressful for folks because, a lot of them have family issues. There's a lot of loneliness issues. There's a lot of folks who go home.
My issue's right there about 6'2".
A lot of folks go home or go visit family, and there's unspoken agita.
What word is that?
Just a lot of anxiety. Recognize that people do have legitimate anxiety.
People says, do you spend the holidays with your brother? I said, I spend 50 hours a week with him. You think I want to go to his house and hear the same story over and over?
I heard he's making a great lechon.
Oh, yeah, that's what he's doing.
I love lechon. We had some today with our ham. Ham and lechon. Thank you, Belkis. Delicious.
Belky, you're the best.
No, the best is Francesca. You know what she made?
What?
Pumpkin whoopie pies.
No.
With a cream cheese filling.
No, the cookie I had was unbelievable.
The cookie? Oh, that was from Crumble.
Oh, I got to get
We
some.
were trying them out. We want them to join the chamber, so we did a little, fandango with them. Anyway, tune in tomorrow on our social media at Gables Chamber as we announce the winners of the Downtown Holiday Window Displays. Best overall, best theme, most original, and our award, the People's Choice Award. That winner will get $500 to use toward anything they want for their windows, their store, their marketing, well, you name it. On top of that, now listen to this. We are done officially with programming, but January is going to be amazing with a Wind Down Wednesday and a Reconnect in that first week. Then we're going to have our book club and, of course, our New Year's Networker. You want to register now and support that great event on January 12th. Check out the rest of the calendar. We'll be together for breakfast with the real estate update, and Ralph Coutier, the relatively new director of the airport, is our trustee luncheon speaker on January 25th.
And a Columbus grad.
Columbus grad
And
and a
UM
great
grad.
lineup. So
Played offensive line 1 year at UM. I
he
think.
did.
I think I have
If
to
I
check.
were to play football, what position would I play?
guard the bench.
Anyway, take good care of yourselves and one another. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for indulging this one for the last year. All I can say is I'll pray for you.
Have a good one.
That's a wrap.
Come on, Alex. You got us?